The city never slept, but that afternoon it seemed especially loud. Car horns echoed between glass towers, shoes clicked against concrete, and people hurried past without looking twice. On the side of a busy street, a luxury black car stood motionless, its hood open like a wound exposed to the world. The car was flawless as polished black paint, chrome details shining under the sun. It didn't belong to the street, it belonged to money, to power. And standing in front of it, almost swallowed by its size, was a young boy. His clothes were torn at the knees and elbows, stained with grease and dust. His shoes were old, the soles cracked, barely holding together. He stood on a small wooden stool, wobbling slightly as he leaned over the engine. His hands were blackened with oil, but his eyes were calm, focused, almost gentle as he worked. A group of 4 men in expensive suits stood a few steps away. Their watches gleamed. Their laughter cut sharply through the noise of the city. "Look at this," one of them said, adjusting his tie. "Is this some kind of joke?" another added, smirking. The man in the blue suit laughed the loudest. He was tall, confident, the kind of man who owned rooms just by walking into them. He pointed at the boy, amusement dancing in his eyes. "I can fix this," the boy said quietly, without looking up. The men burst into laughter. "You," the man in the blue suit scoffed. "Kid, this car costs more than everything you've seen in your entire life." The boy didn't argue. He didn't explain. He simply reached deeper into the engine, turning a bolt with careful precision. His movements weren't random. They carried experience far beyond his years. People slowed down. A few stopped. Something about the contrast pulled them in, the boy's fragile frame against the massive engine, innocence facing arrogance. "You'll break it," one of the men warned mockingly. "Then what?" another laughed. "Sell your stool to pay for it?" The boy's fingers trembled for just a moment. Not from fear, but from effort. He wiped his forehead with the back of his arm and adjusted a loose wire, the kind of wire most people wouldn't even notice. His mind drifted, just for a second. He remembered his father, crouched beside a rusted car behind their old apartment building. He remembered the smell of oil, the sound of tools clinking. His father had taught him not from books, but from survival. "Engines are honest," his father used to say. "They don't care if you're rich or poor. If you listen, they tell you what's wrong." The boy listened. The man in the blue suit checked his watch impatiently. "Enough of this nonsense," he said. "Call the driver. We're wasting time." Just then, the boy tightened the final bolt and climbed down from the stool. He stepped back, nodding to himself. "Try now," he said. The men laughed again, louder this time. "This is ridiculous," the blue-suited man muttered, but he waved his hand. "Fine. Let him have his moment." He got into the car, slammed the door, and turned the key. The engine roared to life. Not a cough. Not a stutter. A smooth, powerful sound filled the street. Conversations stopped. Heads turned. The laughter died instantly. The man in the blue suit froze, his hand still on the steering wheel. He turned the engine off. The boy stood quietly, hands behind his back, oil still smeared on his skin. He didn't smile. He didn't look proud. He looked relieved, like someone who had simply done what needed to be done. The crowd murmured. Phones came out. Someone whispered, "Did you see that?" The man in the blue suit cleared his throat. "Who taught you that?" he asked, his voice different now. "My father," the boy replied. "Before he got sick." Something shifted in the man's eyes. "And where is he now?" another man asked, more gently than before. The boy hesitated. "Gone," he said. "So I fix cars. For food. Sometimes." Silence fell between the buildings. The man in the blue suit reached into his wallet and pulled out a stack of cash. He held it out without meeting the boy's eyes. "Take it," he said. "For your work." The boy looked at the money but didn't move. I didn't fix it for money, he said softly. I just knew how. The words struck harder than any insult. The man paused, then slowly lowered his hand. For the first time, embarrassment touched his face. What's your name? He asked. Ethan, the boy replied. The man nodded. Ethan. I own a garage. Downtown. Best mechanics in the city. He hesitated. If you want to learn properly, if you want a place to work, to eat, come tomorrow. The boy's eyes widened, just slightly. You'd let me? He asked. The man swallowed. I'd be an idiot not to. The other men shifted uncomfortably. Their laughter from earlier echoed back in their minds, heavy with shame. Ethan nodded once. Okay, he said. As the men walked away, the man in the blue suit glanced back. The red arrow someone had drawn earlier in mockery now felt like a spotlight on his own arrogance. The city swallowed the sound of the car as it drove off, but something remained behind. A boy climbed down from a wooden stool, wiping grease from his hands, unaware that in fixing a broken engine, he had repaired something far more valuable: a man's pride, a moment of cruelty, and the quiet belief that greatness can come from the least expected place.